Our series begins with a cute girl named Bonnie. Since she was little, Bonnie loves handsome boys and was always looking for love stories and imagination. She always loved to draw and color the handsome hero. When she grew up and was in high school, she would daydream and think about the handsome teacher who taught her. As soon as she saw any handsome young man, her heart would beat, and her weakness was any handsome and beautiful young man. Because of her love for beauty, she was convinced that a handsome young man was the most beautiful thing in her life. When she entered university, she entered the sculpture department and made a statue of a young man who was beyond handsome. Her friends were amazed when they saw the statue and said to her, "Your lover is definitely extremely handsome. That's why you made a very handsome statue." While they were talking to her, her lover, Bong, arrived and she introduced him to them. It was clear to them that they didn't like him at all, and they said, "It's clear that you choose your lover based on criteria other than beauty." At that time, Bonnie told them, "Bong is a beautiful person on the inside because he tries to express his feelings towards her in every way and always wants to make her happy." She told them that she loved his actions with her more than she loves him personally because he cares about her and that is comfortable, and actually Bong met her at the university and gave her a necklace as a gift and was going to put the necklace on her, and the necklace impressed Bong very much, but a young woman was by chance and bumped into Bong and the chain fell from him. At that time the young man apologized to them, but he is handsome, tall and elegant, but did not pay attention to Bong. Because she was very happy with the gift and quickly went to the cafeteria and showed it to her friends and told them Bong is so handsome. At that time her friend Koi, who works in the cafeteria, said to her, "What does it mean when he brings you a necklace like that? Is enough that you agree to it?" Then a handsome boy entered the cafeteria and gave Koi a book, and Bonnie said to them, "Do you see this handsome young man? He didn't look at me or like me." Her friends said to her, "That's why I agreed, my friend Bong." And they said to her, "We are sure that if you find a handsome young man who admires you, you will never agree to Bong." At that time there was a handsome young man named John who was new to the university, and he was applying to the engineering department where Bonnie was, and all the girls, the one you see is obligated by his beauty. And at that time Bong was in the broadcasting room and Bonnie talked to him, but he didn't answer her, and when his friend called him, he accidentally pressed a button on the university's loudspeakers. At that time the whole university heard him talking to his friend about Bonnie, and he knew that he was betting with his friend to make Bonnie fall in love with him in a short time, and that was the reason for his interest in her. At that time his friend took him, and they told him, "You turned on the loudspeakers, and the whole university heard you." Bong heard from here and ran out of here to apologize to Bonnie, and he was talking to her, but she didn't answer him, and the whole university gathered. At that time Bonnie came to him, and he tried to apologize to her and told her, "I was joking, I really love you." And he got down on his knees and Bonnie told him, "You are despicable and mean and a coward." Bong, when he found her, she defeated him in front of everyone. He told her, "Promise, as if you think you are a beautiful girl and no one desires you, you are an ordinary girl and less than ordinary." Even Bonnie gathered her strength and gave him a flying blow and wiped the floor with him and told him that anyone he wishes, that I love him, and tomorrow you will see me with the most handsome young man in the university. I was kind to you when I loved you, and I hope you don't show me your face again. I took off the knot and threw it in his face. At that time, there were two young men standing there watching what happened, and it was clear that they were happy with what I did. The whole situation was photographed and posted on the internet, and the comments were very many. The girls were happy that she hit him, and they saw her friends checking on her, and she was telling them I was the one who was wrong because I believed him, and they were telling her the important thing is that you learned and took a lesson so you know who truly loves you and who is playing with you. And I told them, "Is he here yet to love again?" And she loves, "Yes, I love the most handsome and best young man." Then her friends cried and said to her, "Yes, we told you this isn't suitable for you, and you told me he's handsome inside and out." The next morning, Bonnie was on her way to university and met Jahun. He stopped her and asked her where the library was. She confronted him at first sight, and of course her heart skipped a beat. He was handsome and Aniko was defeated. Of course, Bonnie saw him from here, and her heart leapt into a teddy bear. She imagined him as Cupid, the love who came to take her on a white horse. She imagined that he brought her the most beautiful bouquet. At that time, her daydreams passed, and she saw with him a book on the techniques of the degenerate. She said to him, "You're new to the degenerate department. I want to introduce myself. I'm the one in charge of the degenerate department." Then she finds a young man named Yul, who is very handsome and has calm features. She says, "What is this beauty? It's so beautiful." She imagines herself riding him on the wheel, hugging him and holding him. Then she understands from the dream and says to herself, "Oh my God, university has become so beautiful. Why is it like this?" After that, we see John standing in front of the statue that Bonnie made, and it looks like him, and he knows that the student who made it is called Bonnie. At that time, Jiul was looking at him on the statue. After that, Bonnie went to her friends and told them about the two young men she saw that day at the university and told them that they were both handsome. At that time, her friends encouraged her to get to know them quickly and become friends. At another time, Yul was standing with his friends and Bonnie was standing looking at him. At that moment, He was about to fall from the stairs and Bonnie ran to catch him, but unfortunately, his tablet fell from his hand to the ground, and there were important things on it. As soon as Yul saw that the screen was broken, he screamed loudly and got very upset. Bonnie apologized to him and said to him, "Sorry, I didn't mean to. I was catching you before you fell." She asked him to forgive her and accept the price of another one. At that time, she went to see its price and was surprised that it was very expensive, at $2,000. She said to him, "Can you take them for me in monthly installments?" Yusef went after her and told her to bring her mobile phone, and then she went to eat with her friends, and was surprised to find John standing in front of her, and of course all the girls admire him, especially since his family is very rich and well-known, and her friends told her that this is the one who is really loved. Money and beauty, and then John told them that he graduated before them, and is going back to work on his master's degree. At that time Bonnie knew that he was older than her, and she was telling him if anything comes up tell him, and his idea is new in the university, and she was very shy with herself, and then they sat and got to know each other, and when he knew her name, he thought that she was the owner of the beautiful statue that he saw, and after the party he greeted her, and told her from now on we are friends, and then Yul entered the party with his friends, and he was still upset because of the tablet thing, and his friends tried to encourage him and cheer him up to change his mood, but he remained upset and went outside. At that time he saw Bonnie happy and laughing with her friends, and he said to himself, how is she so happy and content after she made me feel sad and suffocated because of her. At that time Bonnie saw him, but she was drunk to the bone and said to him, "Why are you upset? She'll take your money." She approached him and grabbed his face and said to him, "Don't look at me like that. With those beautiful eyes of yours, you know that you are prettier and more beautiful, and your face is really beautiful." She kept hitting his face with pens, and in the end, she was about to get back at him. He said, "No, stay away from me." But she didn't have time and humiliated him. The next day, Bonnie woke up and remembered that she drank a lot yesterday, and she didn't know how she got home. After that, she remembered what she did with Yul, and she was about to die of embarrassment. He woke up in the morning to turn on the washing machine, and he swore to her that when he saw her for everything she did to him, and they both went to university. As soon as Bonnie saw Yul, she ran out and said, "Did I come today?" And Yul was behind her. There was a party at the university, and Bonnie entered the middle of the celebrations and saw Jiyeon in front of her, so she said to him, "Hide me behind you quickly," and Yul said to her, "Come out and talk to me," and he was going to pull her, but at that moment there was a drone flying above them, and it was going to come in Bonnie's face and knock her over, but in order to catch herself it grabbed Yul and fell and made him fall with her, and everyone was there to look at them, especially after the drone burst the balloons and came down on them behind the glitter as if the party was made for them. After that, Bonnie understood the situation she was in and pushed Yul and made him fall and started running and grabbed John's hand and took him with her, and Yul was running behind them, and John asked him what he wants from you, and she told him he wants money from me for the tablet that you broke for him yesterday. After that, John invited her to lunch, and while they were walking, he passed by the statue that Bonnie made. John stood next to it and said to her, "Did you not notice anything? The statue looks a lot like me." Bonnie laughed and said to him, "You were joking." While they were talking, and John received a call from a girl he calls First Love, and she was telling him that she is waiting for him for lunch because he told her I had lunch and I'm coming back right away. At that moment, La Bonnie said, "I have to go now." Of course, Bonnie knew that he had a girlfriend and was going to her. At that moment, her phone rang. It was Yul and his son. He knew that Bonnie called her the big debt man. When Yul asked about him, he said to her, "And you don't want to answer me?" He was standing behind her. Bonnie said to him, "No, I pressed the down button by mistake. He wants something from me." She wanted to leave. He said to her, "Where are you going? You won't run away from me this time." Then he took her with him to attend his lectures, even though she wasn't in the same room as him. But he said to her, "As punishment, you will return to writing down my lectures that I used to record on the tablet that you broke." She kept writing until he heard her. Then he asked her to attend all of his upcoming lectures with him, and he sent her his schedule, so she would know the times. Bonnie said, "Does he think he bought me or what? I will take care of it and bring him the tablet." Then she called her father, and she was still going to tell him that she needed a large sum of money at that time. The landlady called me and asked him for $30,000 for the rent money. Of course, after what I heard, I was embarrassed to ask him for anything, but she was very upset with Yul and remembered his control over her, as he used to tell her to write everything down. At that moment, she thought that she had to work to bring money, and she went looking for a job. She actually found a job for $200 a day in a sculpture exhibition. She quickly went there and actually worked in the exhibition. At that time, she saw a masterpiece made by the hand of the sculptor Jay, who was a famous person, and she loved his work. At that time, a very handsome young man came to her, and as soon as she saw him, she said, "What does this matter that he is talking to me about? Am I dreaming or is he serious?" At that time, he asked her to take a picture of the statue with his phone. Of course, because he did not come to her while she understood, she preferred to discuss it with him. He told her, "You have a lot of information and you understand sculpture well." She told him, "Because I study sculpture and I love the sculptor Jay very much." He told her, "I am happy that I got to know you, and I invite you to a place after work in the cafeteria in front of the exhibition," and Bonnie could not believe that he wanted to get to know her and admired her, and actually went to the cafeteria and kissed him and told her his name is Joe, and kept talking to him, and Bonnie told him that she loves the work of the famous sculptor Jay, and told him that he will come to their university soon, and after that he talked to her about himself, and Bonnie was looking at him with admiration, and time passed quickly and Bonnie returned home, and we see a looking at the lectures that Bonnie wrote, and it is clear that he admires her, and he does this to tease her, and only at that time Bonnie is distracted and thinking about Joe and imagining that they are in a beautiful place, and he offers her a ring and asks for her hand, and she is surprised by his request and agrees immediately, and in the dream Yul comes to her and tells her that he wants money for the tablet, and then she wakes up startled and says to him, "You do not leave me alone even in my dreams," so she sends him the first $200 of the amount that is due, and Yul sees them and goes down. The amount is $1,800, and up one morning, she sees John, and he is with girl in a stroller, and she says to herself, this is his first love. At that time, John enters the university and takes the girl and puts her in a wheelchair. At that time, she tells him that she is thirsty, and he goes to bring her water, and she moved with the wheel, and there was a brick, and that broke the chair, and made her fall off it. At that time, I came to her and helped her, paralyzed her, and put her back in the chair again, and checked on her, and the girl says to her that she is sorry, because I covered your clothes with mud. At that time, John knew and introduced her to Bonnie, and that this girl's name is Sherwan, and she is his little sister, and Bonnie is happy when she finds out that she is a sister, and of course this is one of his uniforms. At the university campus, he reminds her that the lecture date is near, and she must go and write it for him. In fact, she went to him, and he says as soon as he saw that her clothes were dirty, he said to her, "What have you done?" And he told her to wear his shirt. She told him, "No, I don't want it." He told her, she said to him, "Yes, I will walk like this instead of no. My debts are increasing, and you make me pay for the shirt." He said to her, "No, I don't want money from you. I just put the shirt on her." They went to the lecture. He was helping her and encouraging her and was happy with her. After the lecture, Bonnie gave her the notebook and left. Yul told her, "Don't forget the next lecture date." Bonnie said, because she wrote a lot and drew a lot, her hand hurt. At that moment, she saw her friend, Koi bandaged her hand. Bonnie said to her, "Get well soon." Koi told her, "I'm fine. This is a move I made to escape the exam." She took off the cast and gave it to her. Bonnie put it on and she was trying it on. At that moment, Yul saw her and said, "Get well soon. What happened? You were fine. Anyway, get well soon. This way, you won't be able to write for him again." At that moment, Bonnie was happy because she escaped from writing his lectures. At that time, there was a mural drawing project and the students were required to divide into teams, and each team had two. Yul said to her, "I chose you." Bonnie said to him, "Our choice," he said to her, "Yes, because your hand hurts and you won't be able to work. I will work instead of you." He took all the tools and worked alone. Whenever she held a brush, he took it from her and said to her, "I will work." At that time, she felt the technique of conscience because she wasn't tired and was surprised by the politeness and kindness with which he treated her and said to herself, "Of course he will get upset when he finds out that you pushed him. Should I tell him the truth or what should I do?" After Yul was about to finish the wall, he was standing on the chair and his legs slipped and he was about to fall. At that moment, Bonnie, a girl, lifted it up and supported it with her hand. Yul said to her, "How can you support me with your hands that hurt you?" She said to him, "My hands are fine." He said to her, "How are they fine?" At that moment, she remembered the gypsum and said to him, "Oh, my hands." Yul said to her, "You must be lying. You did this to escape and not write my lectures. Okay, finish your work with your hands." He left her and walked. "Indeed, I took the brush and finished the wall alone. After that, I met Jahun. He thanked her for what she did for his sister and asked her, 'Did you pay for the tablet?' She said to him, 'Don't remind me of my friend who owed me and what they did to me. I paid him 200 and still have 1,800 pounds. He said to her, 'I can help you.' At that moment, she saw a Kawa Games tournament, and the winner will get a tablet as a gift from the university. She said to him, 'No, I know how to act.' Jiyun said to her, 'What are you going to participate in this competition?' She said to him, 'Yes.' And indeed, she went to play an arm game to win the tablet. Jiyun told her, 'This is a men's game. You can't handle it.' Her friends told him, 'You don't know her. She is known for carrying cement bags.' The entire section was sculpting at that time. Yule and his friends arrived and Bonnie was going to play her round, and she actually played and got a high score and won the tablet. Her friends and the guys greeted her and applauded her. She received the tablet and went to give it to Yule and said to him, "This is it, it's done. I don't have any debts and I won't write you any more lectures." And she left. Jun goes with him, but it is clear that Yul is not happy because the religion issue was an excuse for him to see her every day in the lectures. At that time, she was very happy because she won and because she rides John's new car and invites him to go with her to her friends, and they go and get to know them, and he sits with them to eat together to celebrate Bonnie's victory, and we see Yul, and he is upset. And his friends say to him, "She definitely participated in this competition to get rid of your bad treatment of her." Yul sent her a message saying to her, "I thank you for helping me write my lectures," and Bonnie decides his thesis, and she does not reply to him, but her friend sees his picture on the phone, and he says to her, "This is your friend Yul. This is a young man like Bonnie." She told them, "This is not my friend. He is the one who owes her," and she told them from the time she broke his tablet until the championship that she won to pay off his debt. They said to her, "Okay." And the young man Joe, she told them about Joe and how she got to know him at the exhibition, and it is clear that John is jealous of her, and he says to her friends one of them took advantage of her, and she does not like him, and the other, she still does not know him, while her friends told her it is okay, maybe or not you two like each other, and at the moment of hatred between you they try to love it a lot. On the other hand, Yul's friend was saying to them, he felt very sorry for Bonnie, and I was the reason she entered the co-games competition to get rid of you, and before that he asked her that her hand hurt so she could run away from you. At that time Yul looked at the message and found that Bonnie did not accept him, and the next day he goes to university and is with his friend in the cafeteria, and Bonnie enters and greets her friend Ko and sees him but does not greet him, and her friend says to her, "It seems that you are very happy." She said to her, "Yes, I am happy because I see that someone is coming today. He is coming to university, and I have been waiting for this day for a long time." And after that Bonnie left, and Yul went after her and said to her, "Why did you not accept my message?" She said to him, "It is okay. I do not have an answer for you." He said to her, "You really entered the competition to get rid of me?" She said to him, "Yes." He said to her, "There was no other way other than co-games. I mean, co-games with you are better than the lectures that you write." Why? She said to him, "You want from me? Didn't I take the tablet? Let's go." He told her, "I was wrong to be worried about you." At that time, the university lecture that Jay would attend was over, and all the students were waiting to see him. When Bonnie entered, she was surprised that Jay was the same Jules who had invited her to coffee before. At that moment, she remembered their talk about sculpting, and she looked at him and laughed, and he laughed at her. The lecture ended, and Jules was watching it, but he was not focused at all on the lecture and was lost in thought about Bonnie, and it seemed to him that she was everywhere around him. At that moment, he would leave his lecture and walk. At that time, Jay would be walking with Bonnie and saying to her, "I am happy that we got to know each other before." She said, "I am happier because I have admired you and your art for a long time." Jay approached her and was carrying the flower that had fallen on Bonnie's hair. Bonnie said to him, "Do you want to see me every day?" "Why?" He did not know how to answer. He said to her, "So, I can take my shirt from you." She said, "I will bring it to you." He said to her, "I want it." Today, she actually brought him the shirt and said to him, "I don't think there's anything between us, so we should see each other again." Then they are surprised that they are invited to a meeting of the heads of departments, and she is the head of the degrading department, and he is the head of the photography department. They are required to make an appointment with celebrities who have left the departments and conduct interviews with them. They asked her to conduct an interview with the degrading Jay. At that time, Yuli gets annoyed and leaves because he knows that she will meet Jay. After that, their friends celebrate with them, drink, have fun, and play games. A game comes and Yuli and Bonnie are circling it. Bonnie has drunk a lot and can't walk and is about to fall, and Yuli catches her and catches her. After that, their friends leave and leave them. Bonnie is standing waiting for a taxi, and at that moment, a car comes quickly and is about to hit her. Yuli grabs her hand and catches her. At that moment, a car comes and walks into the water, soaking Bonnie's clothes. Yuli laughs at her while she goes home, and she is very upset because she was embarrassed by him, and the next day Bonnie goes to the university and meets Jahun and talks to him about Jay, and Jay says to her, "Is it possible that you met him and sat with him and you didn't know that he was coming?" She said yes. After that, he asked her to draw him, and he kept looking at her a lot while she was drawing him, and after she finished, and they were walking, suddenly Bonnie saw Jay in front of her and said to him, "It is strange that you are in the university." He said to her, "I was passing by here and came in to see you," and he asked her to see her drawing, and he liked her drawing, and he said to her, "You are very talented." Bonnie was happy with his words and thanked him and said to him, "Can you do a personal interview for the university?" He said to her, "I agree." She said to him, "I know that you always refuse interviews." He told her that he agreed for your sake, and he removes the veil from her hair. At that time, Yell arrives and sees them. After that, Bonnie met Jahun and told him Jay agreed to do an interview. He said to her, it is obvious that he loves you very much, and I know that he does not like interviews and always refuses them. Bonnie said to him, yes, he knows that I am one of John's biggest fans. He told her, no, I feel that he is treating you with extra kindness. It is not just a matter of liking you. Then John asked her to go with him to buy a gift for his sister, a camera. While they were choosing the gift, Yul came in and was not happy when he saw them together. We see John giving the gift to his sister, and she liked it very much. He sent a message to Bonnie and thanked her because she was the one who chose the gift. We go to Yul and his friend while they are at a university students exhibition. There, someone comes and extends his hand to greet Yul, but Yul extends it to him and does not greet him. Then Bonnie comes and takes her to the exhibition. They are surprised that Yul and his friend have a room in the exhibition. By coincidence, their room is next to Jay's room. At that time, Bonnie did the interview with Jay and Yul was filming the interview. He was annoyed because Jay was praising Bonnie and her cleverness. Then Yul asked Bonnie to help him fix the camera and leave Jay with her friends. When Yul went to take it from him, the microphone saw him reflecting on his friend, and then he came and ordered them food and told them he had work and left. Bonnie went out and Raj thanked him for meeting her. Bonnie told her if she wanted to come here again, just come alone without her friends. They agreed on that and Bonnie went back to her friend, and they were all leaving because they had work to do. She and Yul stayed in the place. After they finished, they were surprised that they were locked in the room from the outside, and the mobiles were out of service because of the weak signal. Yul tried to break the door, but he couldn't. They stayed together for a long time until Bonnie got tired and her stomach hurt because she wanted to go to the bathroom. At that time, Yul looked for something to open the door with and found a big hammer, broke the handle, and opened the door. After they went out, Bonnie found his hand injured, and he didn't notice. At that time, she put tape on him and thanked him because she didn't know what she would have done if Yul wasn't with her. He asked him, is there something between you and Jay? She said, why are you asking? He said, because I'm sure he's playing with you. Bonnie said, Jay is a respectable person. She left him and went. The next day, Bonnie met Jiyeon at the university and asked her to have lunch with him when they finished. Bonnie told him, I have an exhibition with my friends. Come with us. At that moment, she received a message from the young man she was going to draw, and he apologized for being tired. Bonnie saw Yul and told him, come, I'll draw you. While she was drawing him, they exchanged glances. Bonnie said, he and I suit each other very well, but we don't understand each other at all. After she finished, she brought him a drink and thanked him for making her very happy. At that moment, Jay called her and told her, come tomorrow, I really want to see you. Yul heard the call and told her, are you coming to the exhibition tomorrow? She told him, yes, I'll go. Do you mind? They saw Bonnie while she invited her female friends, and Jiyeon was at her house. She told them that she was going to the cafe alone. Her friends told her, it's a chance to eat alone, and of course he wants to confess his love to you because he asked you to go alone. At that moment, John got upset and told her that you don't have to trust all celebrities. The next day, Bonnie got dressed and went to the exhibition and was surprised that Yul was there and asked her why Jay. She told him that she had an appointment with Jay. At that moment, Jay arrived and took her and entered his exhibition. Yul was in his exhibition with his friends and was imagining Jay getting closer to her. We go back to Jay while he is teaching her how to squat and puts his hand on her and holds her hand. At that moment, Yul ordered food and gave the address of Jay's exhibition, and the delivery arrived at Jay's. Yul told him that the order isn't here. He took the food from him, and we see his friends while they're eating, but Yul was distracted and not eating. At that time, he saw Jay going out with Bonnie, and they were walking. At that moment, Yul thought about how he let her know that Jay is a frivolous person and plays with her. At that moment, he remembered the day he saw him flirting with her. Her friend said, of course there are cameras in the place. When we go back to Bonnie, we see Jay coming down on his knees to tie her coach's knot. Of course, Bonnie was happy that he was interested in her, even though he was a famous person. But Yul had to spoil her happiness. He held her hand and made her spill the ice cream and said to her, you have to go now. Bonnie asked him, why? He told her, you have to go. She was surprised by his actions. Jay also looked at him, and we saw Yul taking her by the arm and walking. He said to her, I told you that he is playing with you. Believe me, I understand people more than you. Someone like him loves you. Why? She said to him, what right do you have to interfere in my life? He said to her, I am trying to keep you away from him because he will upset you and hurt you. He said to her, did you forget that there was someone who played with you and hurt you? Learn to choose the right person. Do you want to be deceived for the second time? Bonnie said to him, please stay away from me. I am not a little girl. She hit him and walked away. She came back to Jay. He said to her, is there something wrong? She said to him, never. This is just a question of understanding. He told her, the important thing is, are you okay? She said to him, yes. Bonnie was looking at Jai and was thinking about Yul's words and asked him, why are you interested in him? He told her, I don't know, but you are the only one I interviewed and asked her to come to the studio alone. Bonnie was happy with his words, and the next day, Yul went to the university and was thinking about Bonnie's words and felt that he was harsh with her and went too far with her. At that moment, her silence left her and he saw her coming with Ji-yoon. He told her, I came to check on you. Bonnie told him, I told you, I don't want to see you again. She heard him and left. At that moment, Yul asked Ji-yoon to talk alone, and after that, they listened to the recordings he had with him. Jai was saying to the girl the same words that Bonnie was saying. This is the first time he asked girl to come to the exhibition alone. He said the same words that he said to every girl. Yul asked Ji-yoon to join hands and prevent Bonnie from meeting Jai alone because he was afraid for her. Ji-yoon told him, and she heard the recordings of D. Yul said to him, no, when I tried to advise her to stay away from him, she got upset with me and didn't listen to me. Try. Maybe she will listen to you and stay away from him. Ji-yoon said to him, what is the secret of your interest? I know that she was indebted to you and took your money. You are not friends of Yul. He said to him, you want me to see him and he is deceiving her, so keep quiet. Anyway, I informed you and did what I had to do. He left him the phone that was on the recording. At that time, Jay called Bonnie and told her that he was in college and wanted to see her. Bonnie told him that she came here a lot. He told her, I come to see you. At that time, there was a delivery service passing by and was about to hit her. He followed her and pulled her toward him to reassure her. He took her and left. We saw Ji-yoon sitting with Yul and showing him pictures of Jay with many girls. He told him, you were right. I talked to you about him. Yul said to him, are you going to tell Bonnie? Ji-yoon said, yes, I will tell her. When she finds out and gets upset, it is better than her remaining a laughingstock. At that time, he called Bonnie and asked her, or did she tell him to rest until he came? Then the two of them ran there, and Yoel got on, the reason for his friend's argument, and the girls told him, no, I didn't ride this at all. Yul told him, as you wish, and he was about to leave at that time. Bonnie brought Wardy to Jay to congratulate him that his exhibition was over, but when she arrived, she saw him with a girl alone and heard him saying the same thing he was saying to her and saw him touching her face. At that moment she was shocked, and the roses fell from her, and at the same moment Yul and Jay reached them. Yul held her hand and said to her, let's go from here. Bonnie told him, I won't leave until I understand first. She went to Jay and said to him, what did I see now? He told her, this is the character's life and I will explain to you why. In your capacity, I was engaged, for example, and I don't know. He told her, I have guests and I am busy. He left her and went to his guests. Bonnie went after him and said to him, I have to speak in front of the guests, or I will tell you that I won't speak. I will give you a shock to wake you up. She put the icebox on him and poured it on his head and said to him, stop playing with the girls. Before I leave, I want to tell you to be a respectful person before you become a famous artist. She left after she embarrassed him in front of everyone. When he tried to follow her, Yul grabbed him and said, this way, instead of embarrassing yourself in front of your guests. John said to Yul, go away, you are the builder. When he went out after her, he found her sitting and crying. He took off his jacket and covered her with it. He said to her, every time I see you, you make me take off the jacket. He let her cry until she finished at her ease and came out to him from under the jacket. She said, I know that you knew everything and tried to advise me and stop me. It is clear that I am a failure in my relationships and that you are easily deceived. He said to her, don't blame yourself. The fault is not with you. People are bad. At that moment, John arrived and said, come on, I will take you. He asked her, are you okay? She told him, now I am fine. After crying a lot, I feel relieved. He said to her, it doesn't matter that you cried. What matters is that you stood up to him and took your rights. You were strong in front of everyone. John laughed at him and said to her, yes. He kept talking and forgetting, and we saw Yul and he sent her a message and reassured her and said to her, I am by your side and I care about you. At that time, Albani was telling her friends what happened and they were seeing what happened on the internet, and Yul and John exposed him and sent him all the pictures of him with the girls, and they said that he was exploiting the students and playing with their feelings. At that time, the journalists wanted to know Jay's response to the pictures and the words that were being said about him, and Albani and her friends were watching him while he was being attacked by the press, and we saw her friends telling her not to be upset about what happened, and he was happy that she was with two young men who care about her and are worried about you. Surely one of them loves her and wants to be with you. At that time, she remembered Yul, and he was afraid for her from confronting Jay, and she remembered when he threw the ice cream and took her and left. And when he warned her from him, and she also remembered him holding Jay after she shook him, and he was protecting her from him, and when he told her not to blame herself. They are bad people, and when he saved her from the Arabic that was going to hit her, and the next day we saw Yul saying to me, Jayan, you helped Bonnie because you love her. You searched and asked me and knew what he was doing and cared about the matter. You must have done this because you love her. At that time, Bonnie's friends saw them and remembered them fighting over who loved Bonnie more. After that, there was a lecture about experimental art, and the students were required to form a group of 3 students. It was Jayan, Bonnie, and a girl named Minji. Bonnie said to Jayan, Why are you treating Minji so harshly? He said to her, That's how you treat all girls. She said to him, But you treat me well. He said to her, No, you're something else. Bonnie was happy with his words and then went to Yul and said to him, I came to thank you for everything you did for me. At that time, Yul asked himself, Is she really well now, or is she just pretending to be well and for us to see her? He set up a location to film at the university and filmed a group of girls dancing. The whole university was standing and watching. At that moment, Bonnie came and the giants stood and watched. When the soldiers felt that the place was crowded, they took Bonnie and walked away. He saw them walking at that time. Bonnie told him, You know that Yul is very good at filming. I think he misunderstood him and had a bad idea about him. Jiyeon was angry and said to himself, Bonnie wants to thank him.
This was not his style at that time.
Yul, his friends, and the girls' team were celebrating together at that time. Yul drank a lot because he was upset that Bonnie left the location and walked with Jiyeon. He left his friends and went for a walk and found Bonnie in front of him. As soon as he saw her, he told her, I admire you and I love you. And with that, the summary of the first part of our series ended. Wait for us in a new summary, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you can receive all that is new. Bye, my sweetest followers.